Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the Adrian Show. Every Tuesday, maybe at 11, maybe at 3, we're trying to figure all that out, but it doesn't matter. I'm here, and you're probably just going to watch it on rerun anyway. So thanks a lot for tuning in. This show will also be posted to my YouTube page and my Facebook page and my website, which can all be found at Remember-Adrian. I wanted to open up this show today with one of the quotes that I had posted earlier this week. It talked about forgive yourself for everything. You were only learning what it meant to be human. I think the quote was by Mark Anthony, but I think that that's a statement or a sentiment that a lot of us have been told or told somebody else. Because when we came to this planet, for whatever reason we're here, and for however long we're going to be here, no one gave us instructions. I think I heard a story a while back that the dimple right here in your lip is for when you came down to earth and the angel said, shh, you can't remember anything. So we basically come down here a blank slate. Maybe we have a little impression of, what we're going to be based on our body, if you believe in astrology. Maybe we are imprinted strictly by our parents, which psychologists say have a major impact on us as well. But regardless, we're here. We don't know why we're here. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing, and we do not know how we are supposed to do it outside of trial and error. I mean, you can read all the books you want, prepare all you want, but when the fire hits your feet, you're going to react. And we all hope that we're going to react properly. But a lot of times we don't. A lot of times we make mistakes. A lot of times we screw up. And that's what life is about. These screw-ups aren't indelible marks on our body that we're never going to get rid of. These mistakes are just actually learning. They're actually trials to allow us to figure out who we are, figure out how to relax in life, how to react next time, so that when that same fire hits the feet, we can act a little differently. So don't bust your balls so hard about the mistakes that you've made in life. Don't beat yourself up or put yourself down or say shit like, oh, this always happens and wah, wah, poor me. There is no need to focus on the bad stuff when you need to be focusing on the positive stuff. I mean, you're a miracle. So give yourself a break, man. Ease up. You're just trying to learn how to be human. You got it? You got it? All right, good. I'll put that in pipe and smoke it. I had some of my followers write some questions. Remember, every week what I'm attempting to do is you'll ask me questions through my story, or you can direct DM me through Instagram, and I'll bring these subjects up and we'll just kind of conversate. If by chance you're on when I'm on, then we'll just flip you on and we can actually have a communication over Instagram Live. Maybe? I don't know. Let's try to push this technology to the edge. Because I'm here with my lovely Fire and my lovely assistant, Michelle Lee. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm terrific.
She is terrific, my friends. So one of the questions that I got last week was, what is love and how do we know we are in love? What an amazing question, and one that if I could answer easily, I think I'd be a billionaire. Because everybody seems to be searching for love. Everybody seems to be weary of that love at the same time. I mean, love is a persnickety feeling. It is centered right here with which, if you know anything about your chakras, you have your low chakras and you have your high chakras. But your heart chakra, this beautiful beating drum of affection and chaos, is kind of that centerpiece between your higher thoughts and your lower thoughts. And this wagon wheel, if you will, is the one that has to deal with the feelings that these two areas have. And love is right there in the crosshair. Sometimes we do beautiful, high-thinking things out of love. And sometimes we do crazy, dangerous things out of love. So what is love? Love is a wonderful feeling. It's a caring feeling. It's a feeling of empowerment. But it's also dangerous in a way because it'll make you do crazy things. You know, people do wild things for love. So I can tell you what love is not. Love is not damaging. Love is not hurtful. Love is not a feeling of being taken advantage of or disgust. Love should always be beautiful. Love should always be caring. Love should always be a feeling of awesomeness. Even when you're in the trenches arguing with your honey baby and you're just like, how the fuck can I get out of this argument? You should still have that feeling inside of, I desperately love this person. And I love them so much that I'm trying to figure stuff out so that we can move forward, so that we can grow in a union, in a beautiful bond of like caramel and chocolate. I mean, you would bite into a caramel and chocolate and it is immediately delicious. But it's sticky inside the mouth and you got to work with it. This is love. But if you're in that same argument, trying to prove a point so that you can dominate another person, or to prove to them that you're stronger, better, higher than them, then that is not love. And so many of us get trapped there, thinking that we got to put up with this so that that person will love us, or that they'll accept us. Fuck all that, man. You should be able to look at the person you're in love with right into their eyes and be just in the moment with them. Just in love, holding hands, being friendly, always striving for that beautiful union. But if it's just a tennis match between revenge and some other BS, get out. Get out. Because then you're not loving yourself. Then you're allowing the love you feel for the other person to dominate over the love you have for yourself. And that's just not right. Your love for self, your love for gratitude, your love for yourself is paramount. That is the most important thing. Okay? So, I appreciate you asking me that question. Feel free to DM me some more if you want to ask me more specific stuff, or you want me to be a little more long-winded than I am, because my producer's like, wrap it up, buddy! So the next question, which is from my boy Michael, wants to know about my diet and a few things that I do to be present. My diet's pretty basic. I used to be a savage meat eater, lots of pre-prepared foods, lots of pre-packaged stuff. And I started doing research on what foods you should eat, what's good for you, what's bad for you. And quite frankly, I'm not that smart to try to figure it all out. I came to a conclusion that if it's from nature, meaning it grows out of the ground or it grows from a tree somehow, it's probably good for me. But as soon as someone takes that nature and starts screwing with it, putting it in a bag, telling me that it's okay to eat after some scientists messed with it, I don't know about all that. I don't know the research on either side, and a lot of times it just confuses me, and I'm too dumb to know. So I try to eat foods that have not been messed with by human hands. Because for some reason, humans love to trap us. Humans love to keep humans. So, and in this world, these humans need us to buy their products. And they will do whatever they can to make sure that we continually buy their products, putting in herbs and spices that they created to make my little mouth and my little body get hooked on them like junkie. And I'm not down. You look at all the sugar and stuff out there. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to figure out if I should be eating fat or sugar or all protein or all carbohydrates. F all that, man. I look at what is the most natural food and I focus on that. So in the morning, I get a bunch of green stuff, bunch of fruits. I put it in a blender. I don't care. I don't have a secret recipe. And I'll have blended food, veggies in the morning with a kind of a protein powder that's vegan. And then I'll use that same green drink and I'll drink it at night. And in the middle of the day, I just try to keep it fresh. Fresh like my lyrics, fresh like this life, fresh like this collared shirt that I'm wearing while drinking coffee. All right? What I do to stay present, that's yoga, man. You know, yoga, 10 minutes of meditation a day. And what I'm always trying to focus on in yoga and in my meditation is a singular point in my mind. I've done exercises where I will stare at the point of my pendulum, stare at the edge of a leaf, stare at a corner of my plant, and I will stare at that point solely and not allow my mind to go anywhere but that point. And this practice over time has allowed me to keep my focus, because that's really what happens. If you're not present, you're thinking about the future or you're thinking about the past, neither of which you have real control over, and we all just want to stay present. So we have to create exercises that bring our scattered mind back to a focal point. So 5-10 minutes a day, you stare at something. Just stare at it and do not falter. Count to 100. Count from 100 to 1. Anything and everything you can do to teach your mind to just be right here. You know? And remember, when times are tough and you're like, code blue in the red zone, somebody call the wambulance, my poor life. That's when we got to remind ourselves, hey mind, I'm in control. Hey mind, I'm creating the focus. And this is where we're at, because life is happy. I'm on the mic, not saying things that are crappy. I'm trying to live all right.
And not nappy.
And not nappy. I couldn't live nappy if I wanted. I don't have any hair. All right, Michael. So I think it's time for a commercial break.
Is the house gonna burn down? Did I pay that bill 2 weeks ago? On and on and on. I just don't feel right if there's not something wrong. Follow me, Captain Catastrophe. Because if there's not a problem, there's no solution.
That was a little character that I'm working on. How'd you think that, huh? Let's give a shout out to Captain Catastrophe. Guys, this is what I do all day. I can't deal with it. There's like so much crap that is going on in my mind all the time. Let's see Captain Catastrophe.
It's the resemblance there. Can't quite see.
Guys, I'm trying to make this show like a mixtape, you know? Just like however I can get all the crap that is going on in my head to you so you can see it and chew on it and be like, this Adrian Show sure is tasty. Did he mention caramel and chocolate? Because I am in. You can't imagine what is beaming in my head. I have humor beaming in my head. Hardcore knowledge, hardcore spirituality, marketing, all the like an alphabet soup of stuff. And I need you to hear it so you can pass it on, because I got to tell you guys something. Since my bike ride, there is a voice in my head that is like, get in front of that camera and start talking, and we will give you that guidance. So here I am, guys. But I digress. Back to Captain Catastrophe. How many of you are out there and will catastrophize any situation? You're driving around, maybe you're in traffic, and all of a sudden you start thinking about what you forgot to do during the day, or what has to go wrong in the future with a job, with a spouse, with your friends, and all of a sudden that noodle starts twisting in every direction and you are in the center of a whirlwind of problematic things that you're trying to solve. Waste of time, my friends. We can't solve every problem. And quite frankly, there aren't a lot of problems. Once we start becoming confident in who we are, then we start to understand that whatever is going on out there, we can handle. So there's no need in looking at every problem for every situation, because there isn't a problem. There's no problems. You didn't leave the stove on. You didn't lose your keys. Your kids are not going to grow up to be degenerates. You're a great parent. So we don't have to catastrophize, and as my dad says, go deep sea diving in a puddle. Live your life. Just be happy. Breathe. And you don't catastrophize everything, because there's not a problem. Life is fine. You don't have to just put the anchor on your, fishing pole and just cast it out there and try to reel some bullshit in, because there's nothing there. Just have fun with who you are and where you're at. Don't try to make it worse than it already is. God will throw you enough curveballs in your life. So don't do it. Be strong, my friends, and move along happy. Don't be Captain Catastrophe. Messes with my jaw. All right, let's go back to some questions here. I got a lot of questions about anxiety. I think a lot of people are messing around or have anxiety just because, oh, really? Gonna make everybody think I'm a dog beater or something. It's my dog Ferris. He's my guide. We biked across the country together. Hi, dude. Oh, yes, you're my dog. All right, back to anxiety. How do you deal with anxiety? A lot of times you got to look at how our body feels, depression, anxiety, nervousness, as a result of what we're putting in and how we're treating our body. I like to think of our body as a car that we drive, a car that I drive. I, being the conscious individual that is inside this body. I don't want to get all scientific for you, okay? But I move my hand. If something's hot, my body will move. That's kind of the only time that my body is doing its own thing. So how I treat this body dictates how I feel inside of this body. Back to the car metaphor. If you put diesel fuel in an unleaded car, your car will drive like crap. And you, the driver, will notice that driving crappy feeling. So the first thing that we always have to make sure is, how am I treating my body? Am I putting the right food in it? Or am I eating a bunch of crap and wondering why I feel horrible? Are we managing our medications, or are we over-medicating ourselves? Are we in a good environment? Once we start taking a look at those things, and trust me, my friends, when it comes to anxiety, I work with a lot of people, getting them through a lot of stuff. I got a lot of tricks for the trade, so feel free to reach out to me anytime. DM, Remember-Adrian.com. The first area we always start with is what's going on with our body. Once we clean that out, once we dial that in, once we get that under control, then we can start looking at things for our mind. Meditation, yoga, rewiring our mind with thoughts and activities. Once we start looking at that, then we can start to understand where the anxiety is coming from. Because, not a doctor, but I feel that a lot of times this is just simply because our mind is all over the place and we haven't decided to control it. So we're up at night, catastrophizing situations and being anxious about stuff we can't control because we are not doing the things to control our mind. It's not supposed to be all over the place. It's not supposed to be like a room full of puppies when food is shown and barking and jumping. We have the ability to control our mind. We have the ability to keep it focused. We have the ability to keep your shit in check. So please, if there are issues and questions that you want answered, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help, because I don't believe that anxiety or depression should have such a strong grip on us without us doing something to fight back. Okay? Popping pills, I think, can be an addition to everything else we're doing. But if that's solely what you're relying on, then I think you might want to think of something else. Get some more tools in your tool belt, like Batman. Because you just won't want to keep going for the same run. I'm anxious. Grab me my shoulder. Okay, just a suggestion. All right. Next question. How about a sip of coffee? I'm getting all riled up. Oh, fuck. Gotta clean that up. Yes, dear. I spilled the coffee on my pants. It's on my hands. Calm down. Well, I'm just kind of cruising along. What's the time on this, my darling? Oh, we have 5 minutes. She just gave me the look like the clock's right there. Right, producer? Don't mess around. She does not mess around. All right, I have a question that I answered a little bit last week from Eric, and he wanted to know what defines happiness. Well, I think happiness is something that is an exercise. Happiness is an exercise. Happiness is really about perception. Okay? And how we decide to see things, how we decide to look at life. Because you can look at life any way you want. You can see the good in life, you can see the bad in life, you can see the middle road of life where things aren't so bad and things aren't so good. They just are the way they are. But how you react to that? Oh, do we have a question?
We do have a question.
I would like to answer that question.
Epic Dan wants to know, have you tried chicory root?
Epic Dan. That is an epic name, Dan. Chicory root. Is this, I'm assuming, for anxiety or something? I've heard of chicory root. I've heard of a lot of stuff out there that can work with your anxiety and work with who you are as a person. But I would think that if you're at the level of chicory root and you understand the amount of options out there, because when you do your research, there's chicory root, teas, so many teas out there, so many herbs out there, so many options out there, that it's, again, it goes back to what are we putting in our body. Once we start doing the research, once we start putting the good stuff in our body, a lot of things will start happening as far as depression, general health, anxiety, sleep disorders, all the stuff that seem to happen to our bodies and our being in this world that we currently live in that isn't very healthy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Doesn't seem to be people out there trying to make us feel great. You really got to do some serious research on what's good for you out there. Epic Dan. So I hope that answered your question. And thanks for the question, brother. I really needed that. That makes me happy, which is what we were talking about. Let me give you a tool that I used to change my happiness perception. 5 years ago now, I went on a bike ride. I went from Ocean Beach, California to Key West, Florida with my dog you just saw. When I left that situation, I had been working in a corporate life and really just struggling with my happiness and kind of a, depression, just simply because I felt like I just was not utilizing all of my bells and whistles. And I was angry, just a generally, I was a happy guy, but just kind of, I could be very mean and spiteful. So what I did was a basic thing. Can I see that pin, my love? Every morning that I woke up, I had a ritual of happiness. And what I would do was simply draw a happy face on my wrist like that every morning. Can you see it? Every morning I would do this. Two things. I drew my happy face this way. If I drew it this way, then it would be a sad face. And I never wanted to see a sad face. This ritual reminded me to be happy, to be lighthearted, to laugh things off, to look at a different side of whatever was bothering me, because I saw it all day. I'd be biking, I'd be talking to people, I'd be in a crappy, thing with my mind, and that you would see it, and I would remind myself that I was learning to be happy, that I was looking at the other side of things, that I was doing my best to change my mind. Because if you do any research on your brain is a malleable object, kind of, I guess, similar to your liver in a way, as far as being able to regenerate. When you relearn things, you rewire your mind. So if you're a grumpy person, I'm always looking at poopy things, that son of a bitch, that is a wired area. When we go back to that wired area and we give it something new to deal with, we are rewiring. So if you're like, oh, it's poopy, wait a minute, it's not poopy, it's actually an opportunity for me not to be a prick. I'm not a prick. And we start to redevelop how we're thinking over and over and over. It took me about a month, seriously, of this little action, month or two, of just constantly reminding myself, constantly remembering that I am not a jerk, I am learning to be happy, and I need to move forward. Simple, no app needed. It's free. I won't even charge you. Do we have another question? What's the question?
What would you say to a 20-year-old trying to get their path in life?
Sarah
wants to know.
Sarah? Mm-hmm. My sister Sarah?
Correct.
My sister Sarah wants to know. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
My sister's awesome. Young people who want to find their path in life. Well, you got to pick one. You just got to pick it and start working towards that direction. I'm 46 years old. I've picked plenty of paths. But what's interesting in life is that life has a path for you. And it's going to get you on that path no matter what you want to do. I don't know if we're born for a path, if we're born in a certain destiny, if we're born in a specific direction. I cannot tell you. But I can tell you this. Many times in life we try to force things, okay? We try to force ourselves down a path because we become so focused that is what we are going to do and that is what I'm going to make happen. And you could have signs, life happenings that are just like, I don't think this is a good idea. You should probably stop this. Every morning you're like, I shouldn't be doing this. And life is like, don't go down this path. Maybe in a relationship, maybe in a job, maybe in your orange van, in a lot of different directions where it just seems like the world is telling you no, 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 no. At that point, in that path, you need to take maybe a sit-down moment and be like, is life trying to tell me? I always feel like I'm talking like this. You have to ask yourself, is life telling me this is the wrong path, or is just the normal, obstacles that life throws in our way to make sure that we really want something? Because as soon as we take a path, things will get in our way. As soon as we say, this is the direction that I want to go, life kind of tests us. But as a 20-year-old and even as a 46-year-old, you have to start to learn the difference between the two. And that just comes through trial and error. Everybody wants to pick a path, everybody wants to take a direction, but we don't have to make that decision today. We don't have to say, this is what I'm going to do, and that's the last thing that we do. And we dive into a relationship, or we dive into a job. You can take a chill pill. Life takes a while. So don't be in a rush to make your decision. Don't be in a rush to be who you think you need to be. Don't be in a rush. You can take a day or two to ask for feedback, to look around and do your research, to see if this is something that really is the direction that you need to take, or is this just something that we need to think more on? Because as a 20-year-old, Or as a young person, you got plenty of time, you know. And I'll tell you that if you think you're trying to even find your purpose, like a chameleon, your purpose will change multiple times throughout life. The real purpose in this life is to be a good person, is to extend yourself to strangers, to build a community of love and laughter. That's the real chunk of it. How you do that, that's the stuff that, you know, in what car are you going to do that in what house are you going to do that in what job are you going to do that in what life path are you going to do that in. The path is to be, you know, to live life, to enjoy this beautiful world that we live in, and the family and your friends. Where you work, the car you drive, who you're with, that's the part that is the chaos, I think. So, be calm. Choose a direction, but you don't have to choose it today. If you think things and obstacles are in your way, ask yourself, is this the right path? Maybe I should get feedback from other people. And always be happy about it. Woo! This is getting a little long-winded here. I have one more commercial, and then let's close it out. Because this is the mixtape of the Adrian Show. 3, 2.
At the grocery store with no bag? At a restaurant with no straw? Times are getting tough, but do I have the solution for you? Pay attention, because what I'm about to tell you will revolutionize your life. Introducing the thumb and index finger. Brought to you by nature. So helpful for so many things.
Drat, I gotta take my mom's tea to work, but I don't have a bag. Wait a minute. I have my index and thumb. Look at this. I can just grab them, and I don't need a bag. Who knew? What else can I do?
Maybe I can make this stuff go away.
I can just use my thumb and look. I can turn the channel to something nice. Maybe I can stop all this cussing in my ear with this music. Allow explicit content? Boop, no more. Maybe I can do some other combinations. Maybe a lot more of this. And a lot less of this. Jeez, I feel like my third eye is open or something. In fact, I think I can use my thumb and finger for relaxing stuff too. Maybe a little bit of Shanti.
What did I tell you? I mean, the thumb and index finger can pretty much adjust your entire life. What you pick up, what you watch, what you hear, the things you do. And to think, we were born with it. Try yours today.
Huh? How was that infomercial? What I'm trying to get across with that, I hope I got across, was a little bit of humor. But also that we're born with everything we need. Our mind is an amazing problem solver. A radio that can pull stuff in and emit stuff out. Our hands can do so much that we can control. If I don't like the way certain things are, I can turn the channel. If I don't like what I'm hearing, I can grab something and make it change. I can make myself peaceful. I can do a whole lot of things with this simple tool. So stop trying to get apps, stop trying to buy a bunch of extensive stuff and make things a lot harder than they need to be. My friends, don't catastrophize. Don't make things so difficult. Use what we were born with. This beautiful body is amazing. You're amazing. We're amazing. It's all amazing. I think that's it for the Adrian Show. I'm going to post this live in the... Stand up, she says. I'm going to post this live today. Then I'll upload it to Facebook and then my YouTube channel. If you want to contact me directly, I'm always open for new clients. If you want to pay me to speak, I'm also open for that. Always feel free to reach out. And if you want some free stuff, go to my website, www.Remember-Adrian.com. Have a great week. See you next week.